6 or 7 in the morning, and no one has awakened, but the peaceful silence and smell of fresh dew lingering in the air beckons me to the world outside. I get up and fill my lungs with the smell of the forest and the remnants of last night's campfire that clung to my attire. Then I begin my selfish walk into the woods to enjoy its company before having to share it with anyone else. As a warm golden glow begins to shine through the trees, I find a nice polished rock underneath a canopy of leaves. Sitting here, I close my eyes as a reverent stillness embraces my presence. In the seat furnished by the forest, it begins to reveal the life inside its silence. I have chosen a cherry wood that I plan to juxtapose against a torch version of itself. Here, in choosing the wood I would be working with, I'm being very careful of the grain's movement and its pattern, the wood's color, the deformity in the wood, making sure as to get good cuts that could aid in the aesthetic of the final product. The warm red tones of the wood, contrasting with the darkness, remind me of not only the campfire where memories are shared, but also of the colonnade of trees that housed me. Special care was taken in the design of the chair, carefully looking at ergonomics, the angle the chair should be tilted back, its distance from the floor, the distance of the height from the floor, the length of the back you would sit on, the arm length, and so on and so forth. Next, I conducted a series of experiments torching the wood, looking at the resulting color and sheen, how much the grain would pop out, or lack of contrast in the grain. What would the difference be if I were to brush it, and then burned it again, and then brushed it again. Ultimately, I decided on the finish I wanted was just an initial first pass, just to get the sheen and a little bit of contrast between the grain and the wood itself, so without having to brush it. Having decided on that, I went ahead and full production. Once again, making sure that the grain on the wood for the cuts I had was the grain I wanted, that it would show through the torching process. The following are images of the chair's components as it nears completion, the resulting sheen of the wood on some of the pieces, and the process of making holes in all the pieces and driving threaded rods through them to apply compression and make it something that is inhabitable and usable. And finally, clamping them together as they glue in the rack. The chair went through many iterations, but eventually one was chosen. Moving forward with its design, as we finished assembly and construction, it became time to finish. We ended up using a tung oil to preserve most of the natural coloring and to help it harden and seal. I used a superfine brush so that it wouldn't damage the torching, and I could be as accurate as I wanted to, using a cloth rag also to dab off some of the excess oil so it wouldn't darken it in some places more than in others. I also used a Q-tip for some of the harder to reach places and some of the detailing work we had done. And after letting it sit overnight, the chair was done. The chair is an homage to all those memories. It is a nook and a space, an invitation to inhabit the silence of the world.